Have you ever really stopped to think about how an AI thinks? For decades, the entire field has been kind of split. It's got two personalities, one that acts like this intuitive, creative artist, and another that works like a super rigorous, by-the-book logician. Today, we're going to dive into a pretty powerful new idea that's finally bringing them together. Let's see how they're doing it. All right, so here's our roadmap. First, we're going to explore those two distinct personalities of AI and the massive black box problem that this split creates. Then we'll get into the really cool part, how Neuro symbolic AI is building this brilliant bridge between them. And finally, we'll talk about why this could seriously be the next true revolution in artificial intelligence. So, first up, let's unpack these two major schools of thought that have shaped AI for so long. Seriously, understanding this fundamental divide is the absolute key to seeing why this new approach is just so revolutionary. Okay, this breaks it down perfectly. On one side, you've got deep learning. That's our intuitive artist. It is a master of finding patterns, learning from just unbelievable amounts of data to do things like recognizing your face or understanding what you're saying. And on the other side, you've got symbolic AI, our rigorous logician. This one operates on really clear, explicit if this then that rules and just crushes structured logical problems. But here's the thing. This divide creates a huge challenge, a wall that's really been holding AI back. Because as powerful as both of these approaches are, when you use them by themselves, each one has a pretty critical trust-breaking flaw. Yeah, this quote from our source material absolutely nails the issue with deep learning. It can give you an answer that's incredibly accurate, but a lot of the time it literally cannot tell you how it got there. It's a black box, right? And for those really critical things, like in medicine or self-driving cars, where we need to trust the decision-making process, well, that's a massive problem. So here's the core dilemma, laid out right in front of us. With deep learning, the big limitations are all about trust. It has no transparency. That's the black box problem. It can't explain its own reasoning, and it has a really tough time generalizing. If you take it just a little bit outside its training data, it can fail in some really weird ways. And then on the other side, symbolic AI's limits are all about flexibility. It's just rigid. It can't adapt to new info that isn't already in its pre-programmed rulebook, and it really struggles with all the messy, unstructured data of the real world. So we're left with this choice. Do we want an incredibly powerful artist we can't understand, or a brilliant logician who can't improvise? And this is where it gets really exciting. This dilemma brings us to the breakthrough solution researchers are buzzing about, a hybrid approach that's designed not just to make a compromise, but to build a bridge that actually captures the strengths of both of these worlds. And here it is, Neuro-symbolic AI. The core idea is actually pretty simple, but it is revolutionary. Instead of being forced to choose between the pattern-finding neural network and the rule-based logic system, you combine them. You create a single integrated system that can learn from data and reason with logic. Best of both worlds. And this visual just illustrates the concept so well. You've got the machine learning circle over here, which is amazing at learning from the real world, and then you have the knowledge graph circle, which represents all that structured logic. Neurosymbolic AI lives in that powerful sweet spot right in the middle, where each side makes the other one better, leading to better performance, more robustness, and that all-important explainability we were talking about. So what does that leap actually look like? Well, we're moving from an AI that just perceives things, one that says, that's a cat, to an AI that can actually reason about what it sees. It doesn't just identify the cat, it understands the concept of cat, and can infer that, cats chase yarn, and they eat fish, and they have paws. It's a huge leap towards a much more flexible and, frankly, human-like intelligence. So what can we actually do with this new kind of AI? The applications are enormous, especially in fields where the why is just as critical as the what. The impact here is truly transformative. I mean, think about healthcare. It means you could have a diagnostic AI that not only spots a tumor, but can also explain why it reached that conclusion based on established medical facts. Or for self-driving cars, it means a car that can explain its decision to swerve or to brake, which is absolutely critical for safety and for accountability. It's really all about building systems that we can actually trust. Just think about that for a second. What becomes possible? When an AI can justify its actions, it changes the entire game. It goes from being this mysterious tool to a transparent partner. And that is the fundamental shift that neurosymbolic AI makes possible, paving the way for way more reliable and sophisticated systems in pretty much every field. All right, let's wrap this up by looking at why this integration isn't just some small improvement. It's a truly crucial step toward the entire next generation of artificial intelligence. So, by combining learning with logic, these new systems solve the big problems we saw earlier. They're way more robust because they can reason instead of just memorizing patterns. They're more interpretable because you can actually look at their logic. And because of all that, they're just fundamentally more trustworthy. When you get right down to it, neurosymbolic AI is really about creating a whole new kind of partnership between us humans and our machines. It's about building an AI that isn't just intelligent, but is also accountable, which allows us to use it safely and effectively in the most critical parts of our lives. And that leaves us with a pretty profound final question, doesn't it? As we get better and better at creating machines that can reason more like we do, we also have to take on the responsibility of making sure they reason in ways that align with our best interests. The journey to a truly intelligent and trustworthy AI, well, it's really just beginning.